What is up? It's Phoenix here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be another interesting video for the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing my newly acquired M42A1 Combat Vehicle Crewman's mask. This mask I just got here a couple weeks ago, and it was just a face piece. It was missing basically all the components, so I went and I bought all the components here. And I finally just got everything in today to make a video on it, so yeah, I thought that I'd make a video for you guys. So today's video, I'm going to be going over the history of this mask, of course, and some, showing off the components and whatnot. So yeah, I guess let's kind of get into this. So starting off here, I'll go into some history of the M42A1. The M42A1 was, as far as I'm aware, adopted in 1993 sometime. The national stock number for the M42A1 was filed in January 1993. Although, as far as I'm aware, that was for the M42E1. Now, that could be the M42A1, like national stock number, but the thing is, if you look up the national stock number for the M42A1, it states the mask as the M42E1, which makes me think that January 1993 was when the M42E1 was introduced, the experimental version of the M42A1, and that the M42A1 was actually like approved for general issue later on in 1993. But I could be wrong. Although I do have some supporting information to lead me to believe it probably was late 1993 or early 1994 that it was officially approved for production as the M42A1. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing to note there. Production of sorry, stumbling over my words here. Production of the M42A1 started, as far as I'm aware, in early 1994. I've never seen a 1993 example of an M42A1, which makes me think that probably all the M42A1s, in quotations, from 1993 might actually be M42E1s. There could be like some really late 1993 M42A1s that I just haven't seen, but I'm not sure because I've never seen one. All the ones that I've ever seen have been dated 1994 and 1995. But full-scale production of these for sure started in 1994. That is what this one here is dated, is 1994. The M42A1 was produced, like I said, from 1994 to 1995. It was the direct replacement, pretty much in issue, general issue, of the M42, which the M42 was the predecessor to this mask. The biggest differences between the M42 and M42A1 is the M42 has the early style black nose cup that was considered to be uncomfortable. It had a design defect, mostly with the MSA produced examples. You see ILC Dover and MSA, the two main contractors of this mask. They were using the same technical package from Scott Aviation when the mask was first approved for production in June 1987, but they were using slightly different ways of constructing the masks and using slightly different materials. Of course, it was all mil spec, but they were still using slightly different ways of adhesion and different materials. And the way that the Mine Safety Appliances nose cup was assembled, it would cause extreme discomfort around the top of the nose area, the nose bridge area. So the Army figured this out in early 1992 because there were no M40s and M42s available for issue until late 1991. I have a different video on my channel that goes way more in depth into this topic. If you're interested, it's my M42 video. So if you want to know more about this, go watch the M42 video. But they found out the nose cups were defective, so they redesigned it in early 1992, and then in late 1992, they approved the M40A1 for production. I can't remember the exact time. It was like in August or something, I believe, 1992. I'll look it up just to be sure. But production of the M40A1 didn't start until early 1994. But this mask, like I said, it uses the updated nose cup. Sorry, the updated nose cup, which is different than the early M42 because the M42 used the black nose cup of the original masks. The M40A1 uses the green silicone, or M42A1 uses the green silicone nose cup out of the M40A1. It also has a detachable hose that screws into the side of the mask and an updated canister carrier. Those are also different things between the masks, but otherwise, The general design of the mask is the same. It still has the exact same microphone assembly. It just has a screw-on hose and an updated canister carrier. That is the biggest difference between that and also, of course, the green silicone oral nasal cup. But the M42A1 was approved as a general or like a general replacement in issue and production to the M42. Although the M42A1 actually was relatively shortly lived. Like I said, it was made from 1994 to 1995, and in May 1995, they approved the M42A2 for production. You see, as far as I'm aware, it was found that the microphone assemblies that they were using on the M42 series and the MCU2AP, they were found to have a possibility of leaking. And as far as I'm aware, it was something to do with the construction of it and a weak spot in it that could possibly leak. So to fix this whole issue, what they did was they just would take M40A1 face blanks, and they would have a clip-on microphone that would just clip onto the voice diaphragm on the outside with a cable leading to your combat vehicle crewman's helmet. So is what they did instead was they would just issue M40A1s with this clip-on attachment and like a hose and a canister carrier and everything. So the M42 and M42A1 were pretty much almost completely replaced. The M42A1 kind of held its own up until like the late 2000s, but the M42 had been gone since like the early 2000s, as far as I'm aware. This kit here is set up for a 1994-1995 kit, so like when it was first produced. That's what this kit's set up as. I don't think there's much else for me to talk about these. One other thing I would like to mention is that these are actually kind of uncommon masks. You see, total production of the M42 series, the M42 and M42A1 combined production of both of them, as far as I'm aware, through 1995, was 128,370 masks, if I recall correctly. And again, that's total production between the two. And by like late 1995, 1996, the M42A1 was replaced on the production lines by the M42A2. So these weren't produced for that long, both the M42 and M42A1, and the total production of them, as far as I'm aware, is 128,370 masks, which the M40 series is like millions. So if you can compare the two, you can see that the M42 and M42A1 have far less production numbers. So if you ever wondered why these are so uncommon to find, it's because both the M42 and M42A1 actually weren't produced in a super considerable amount. Of course, 100,000 is a lot of masks still, but it's nowhere near the amount as regular M40s. But anyways, I guess that's really all I wanted to talk about the history of this mask. So I will go into, I guess, the kit and some accessories. So starting off here, I got the clear outserts here. You can just see them right there. I got the tinted outserts on the face piece, as you can see. Those would be two standard issue items. As you can see, the M1 waterproofing bag, of course, self-explanatory. It's the waterproofing bag for the mask if you're going to forward streams or something, so your mask doesn't get wet and it ruins the filtering element. Got the ABC M8 chemical detector paper. It's just a chemical detector paper. You can swab this in a chemical and it'll change colors and tell you what chemical it is accordingly. You can see TM34240 340-10 February 1994 edition on the M42A1. It's just got a bunch of general issue information on the M42A1. Kind of an uncommon manual to find. Luckily, I have it. This one I believe is early because it doesn't actually have a government printing office date. It doesn't say when it was printed, so I have no idea when it was printed. Kind of an interesting thing, I suppose. Got the M258A1 personal decontamination kit. This was also standard issue for the time. And then you got the carrier here. This is the M40, M42 hard shell carrier. That was the one that was introduced with, of course, the M40 and M42. A lot of these early production, early issue M42A1s would be issued with these, so that's why I have it with this. You can see it says US carrier M40, M42 mask. You can see the little pocket here on the bottom for the oxygen supply system for the M42 and M42A1. It's just got that, you can see the quick disconnect coupling on the end of the canister carrier. That would come up through here, and then it would be covered by this flap, but you could pull it up and then connect it to the oxygen supply system in your tank, so you could breathe effortlessly while in the tank, and then if you went to bail out, it would just quit. It's called a quick disconnect for a reason. It just come unclipped automatically, and then you could breathe through your canisters, so you wouldn't be exposed to gas even when leaving the tank. You can see the pocket for the M258A1 personal decontamination kit, if I didn't say that already. Flipping it around here, there isn't much else to see. It's just the straps. You can see the ID card slot and the strap storage pocket. Really nothing else to note on the outside. So peeling the flap open, you got the inside pockets for all of your accessories and such. You got the pocket there. On the far left, your waterproofing bag and your chemical detector paper. You have this pocket here, which if I recall correctly is the one for your outserts and your operator's manual. And then this one, I can't quite recall what goes in this one, the one right here. Let's see, what else do we have left over? I guess not much, really. I'm sure something else would go in here, I just can't quite recall. I'll put it up in the video if I remember what it is that would go in there. And then you got the slot down there for the canister carrier. So closing the carrier up and setting it aside, I will get on to the mask itself and the stuff attached to the mask. So here we got the M42A1 itself. You can see it here in all of its glory. You got the tinted outserts on it. You can see the microphone assembly that makes this an M42A1. You can see the detachable CVC comms lead right here. You can see it still has a diaphragm built into here, and then it has a pass-through system that goes to an internal microphone. Again, this was discontinued on the M42A2 because of fragility concerns with this style of diaphragm. You can see the side port there. You can see the outlet valve cover here is dated, let's see, what is it? Second week of June, 1994 by LC Dover. The outlet valve itself is also dated 1994 by LC Dover. You can see the quicked off hood on here. And this is the early style second skin hood, which I'll peel it off here in a second. The actual hood off so you can see it. You can see a date right here of the 4th week of March 1994 by LC Dover on the second skin. I'll peel the hood off so I can show you, give you a better look at the actual second skin. You can see that it's the early style that has the ridge, and it's not as big. It doesn't cover as much of the mask. This was discontinued relatively quickly because it was considered to have kind of a shitty seal with the hood. Soldiers would complain that it liked coming undone off the facepiece, so they redesigned it with a bigger edge to help combat that. These are kind of hard to find for no apparent reason. Or, well, I should say they're hard to find in medium/large sizes. The small ones are easy to find. I guess there isn't much else to note here on the face piece. I guess showing you the side of it here, you can see the assembly date, which is December 1994 by ILC Dover. You can see lot number 503253. Got the head harness there. You can see the date on the side of the face piece here, maybe. It is the third week of November 1994 by ILC Dover. Folding the harness over the face piece, I will show you guys the interior, maybe. All right, you can see the interior here. You can see it has the green silicone oral nasal cup like an M40A1. Like I said, you can see the microphone assembly there in your drinking tube. The nose cup here is dated, I think, the 3rd week of August, 1994, if I recall correctly, by LC Dover. Looks like it. I do believe so. I guess we'll see if I'm wrong. I guess there isn't much else to know on the interior, because it's basically just a normal M40A1 otherwise. There isn't much else to know. You can see the deflector post and everything. It uses a regular M40 deflector post because it has a screw-on hose. So I'm putting the harness back over here. I'll give you a better look at the hose here. It moves freely, and then it has a star knob that twists on and locks in. This hose is made by ILC Dover, if you can see that. And this just screws off and reveals the regular M40 style deflector post. And then you can see that it has fittings holding it on here that are covered by rubber bands. I'll show off the quick off hood here real quick before I show off the canister area. It's just a normal quick off hood with the elastic and everything. You can see the clips and everything. If I can find the stamp here, I'll show you guys the production stamp on this example. If I can find it. What the hell is it? Oh, there it is, right here. You can see the hood here 1995 contract date, and it was assembled, or this one was made in 1996. So a little late for this kit. It's technically not period correct, but nobody's gonna fucking know unless they look at this stamp. So if anyone really wants to be bitchy about it, well, I don't honestly give a shit. But yeah, it's nothing much else to note about there. It's just a regular, it's just a regular quick dock-load. So, showing it off the other side of the hose here with the canister carrier, you can see the top of the hose here. It's just a, just got a like a 90-degree angle fitting here, and then you can see the gasket in it. Also got an ILC Dover production stamp right there on the side. Seems it doesn't want to show up on camera. That's unfortunate. I don't know why. There you go. You can see the actual canister carrier here with the canister. This is the later style, like I said. This has just like a regular screw. This just unscrews. On the earlier ones, it has like a channel lock that it goes in and twists in. The early ones are made out of green plastic. They're a lot harder to find than these later ones. These later ones are easy to find, but the earlier ones are hard as fuck to find. So luckily, the M42A1 uses the later style for the most part, so it's accurate for the kit. So I was just able to find this for like a few bucks, basically. You can see the top of the canister here. This is a C2A1 canister because that's what these would be issued with. They'd also technically be issued with C2s, but I wanted this one in like regulations for the time period, so I just got a 1993 contract C2A1 in this, which was basically the first year they made these. It was like 1992 they started making them, I think. But 1993 is basically the earliest you can get without it being on obtainium. You can see the quick disconnect fitting on here with the disconnect valve right here. It's got a twist like knob here that you can untwist, and it unclips and pulls out of this housing. You can see the bayonet fitting for the combat vehicle crewman's oxygen system right there. Not much else to note about here. You can see the straps on it, so if you want to body carry the canister carrier instead of having it stored in the carrier, you can do that. But yeah, I guess I don't think there's really anything else for me to talk about here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video on an M42A1 combat vehicle crewman's mask. I sure enjoyed making it. But that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and I'll see y'all later.